Now, Beggs have actually asked people about Lola, which they actually thought they have found a husband for her, in which asking people of Dressrosa the whereabouts of Lola is actually good. But now we actually headed back over to the chapter where we go to find out what's happening, which on the Ryugu Palace, where Neptune had made it back from the ravine with Garb, who was actually visiting the Fishman Island for the first time, in which they actually have never been exhausted about the ravine, and they actually knew it was always like this. And so they actually had said that the islands have made problems for one another, and they always have weapons to fight in their battles, by which the kings have actually have started to talk about something that is actually on their subject, by which the problems they actually have regarding to Dressrosa and Alabasta, which they are actually knew something is actually going wrong, but we actually can tell that that actually meant he's actually wanted to talk to Neptune about the incidents. But we actually headed back over to the present, where it has been 1 week since the ravine announcement, which the speculations that actually happening this year, which all the islands have heard news about what happening regarding to the fact that the royalties have made it back home through their separate ways, in which we saw Morgan had actually told the reporters to write down the story because he actually say that it's big news because he actually has gotten the latest scoop of what actually happened. And then we actually knew that someone actually pulled up a mask and forced Morgan to write down what he actually is wrote because he actually won't actually write a story that he didn't send, by which he actually had beaten down that masked assassin who was actually a member of CP0. Now we actually knew that he's actually writing down the story that he actually wanted to write. But then we actually knew that this story has something to do with the fact that Sabo was actually on the ravine. And everyone is actually in shock of how they actually heard about this news, which that definitely mean that someone is also actually heard about all the ravine, which Steely actually heard that Saba was also in the ravine, which means that everyone is actually in shock, including Luffy's home island. And that also means that Doflamingo in Imperial Downs heard the news, including Blackbeard from the Pirate Island Beehive, in which he actually heard news about it as well. But back in the Marine ship, we heard that Kobe actually talking to Drake, and then he actually heard news about the Big Mom and Kaido alliance. And he's still in Wano country. And remember, we're still in Wano arc. We actually heard the fact that they're actually working together. And the fact that they have actually working together have actually shocked Kobe. But he actually is still a member of the Navy, which he actually has been a part of a secret team called the Top Secret Special Forces Sword, and he became a captain. by which he also gave word about Luffy and not actually have made any escape. But the only thing that he actually did tell Kobe is that he actually told him that he saw CP0, that they actually on Wano. But he didn't actually realize that CP0 is actually on Wano. But we actually heard about the fact that the ravine were actually talking about the fact that the pirate ruled countries that actually been ruled by pirates, and the fact that matter is the ravine actually knew what that actually wanted to talk about, because Kobe is actually on their way to Amazon Lily to arrest Hancock, and we actually knew that everyone in the world are actually relieved because they actually been saying that aligning themselves with pirates is always wrong, and they actually is so relieved to actually think about that, and which the fact of the matter is that they actually have getting rid of the warlord system. That actually means that King Cobra and King Riku actually have actually made up the ruling because they actually wanted to get rid of the warlords after Crocodile and Doflamingo's corruption on their home countries. We actually consider that they actually want to get rid of the warlords, which all their rights have been stripped from them, and also their titles, which we actually seen on Barry Island, where they're getting ready to arrest Buggy, and they all actually getting ready to fight him as well. But then we actually head over to the home island of Hawkeye, and he's also getting ready to fight as well. Now, we actually knew this could actually happen, and also we saw Riesel actually saw the Marines are actually getting ready to fight him, so they're getting ready to do that. And also on Amazon Lily, they also getting ready to arrest Hancock, but we actually knew why they became warlords. It was because they are actually powerful, and that's actually meant we're actually seeing the warlords being arrested. So the meaning of the ravine has now been revealed, which that actually have been their objectives, means that they have gotten rid of the warlords. And now the arresting of the warlords is always play a part of the world government. So we're actually knew that this could actually means trouble for everyone else. But we actually going to see what's going to happen on the next chapter next weekend, where we actually going to see Act 3 of the Wano arc. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment on what you think about the manga chapter. You guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and like my Facebook page. Until then, this is Anime Guy Jordan here saying sign out. Laters!